Hi, my name is Jason Stewart, and I am recording this video for my food service management class, and it is regarding sexual harassment. For this project, I chose a case study from the Journal of Human Resources in Hospitality and Tourism, and the name of the study is Sexual Harassment in Hong Kong, Perceptions and Attitudes of Restaurant Employees by Coates, Argra, and Tanner. In this study, they looked at how workers in Hong Kong viewed sexual harassment in the workplace. This information was gathered from employees working in full-service restaurants in the city of Hong Kong. The 25 locations were described as locations where patrons would sit at a table and would then have orders taken with a server delivering food and drink to the table. This means that it would not represent locations with carryout and fast food establishments. The information was also gathered through a self-assessment questionnaire. This would allow the population to be more honest about how they felt was happening in their work environments. All the questions were on a scale with 1 being strongly agreed and 5 being strongly disagreed. They were able to collect 345 questionnaires from the 500 that were originally distributed. From this information, they gathered a little over 1/3 of the people responded affirmatively that sexual harassment occurred more frequently in the restaurant industry than that in other professions. I believe that this is also a true statement. I have found with my own personal experiences that kitchens are more prone to actions and gestures that could be considered sexual harassment. I believe that one part of this comes from the more relaxed and social environment that people work in. It is not uncommon for people who work together in the food service industry to also spend time together outside the workplace. This can lead to fellow employees forgetting when it is appropriate to say comments that in more of a social setting may be accepted if still not polite. Even with such a high response that sexual harassment is happening in the kitchens, only a little over 11% of response felt that they themselves had been victims of sexual harassment. Being someone who has had experienced unwelcome comments, I feel that perhaps some people do not believe that some actions happening against them could be considered sexual harassment. I believe that one reason that I've been putting up with verbal and physical gestures is because I'm gay. And as we all know, the gay population, and men in general, are perhaps a bit more forward about how they feel in regards to one another. Keeping in mind that this focus was studied in Hong Kong, a location that has not seen the same number of lawsuits regarding sexual harassment that the United States have. Almost half the people surveyed said that they have do not have a sexual policy in place. I have found throughout my years working in different restaurants that almost every location I've worked in has had some sort of policy regarding sexual harassment. This is so that they are able to protect themselves from lawsuits that perhaps without these policies would be welcome. I believe that if this study were to be conducted again in the United States, that we would have similar results. If not, more people would believe that they are victims of sexual harassment. I also believe that if the study was to be re-given in 5 years, that Hong Kong would also see a rise in sexual harassment. The rise of video ads in Hong Kong has increased since the people are being able to realize that they are able to get money from frivolous lawsuits. I also think that sexual harassment is prevalent, as I said, with such a social aspect that we live in. Many kitchen brigades regard themselves as a family, and that being said, perhaps do things that in a more corporate position would be frowned upon. I know that my boyfriend hardly ever gets together with anyone that he works with to get a drink or to catch a movie after work. I think that this is a good study and can be easily transferable to the United States. Just because it was done in Hong Kong does not regard this as useless information for us here in the United States. I think that similar trends would be found if one were to look at how people believe that sexual harassment is being looked upon in the United States. In addition to there being an increase in lawsuits, many people have found that sexual harassment is something that is not taken very seriously. It's hard for me to go without a day without hearing some sort of slander saying that could be conceived as sexual harassment. I also believe that the culinary world perhaps takes a little bit of a lighter view on sexual harassment than another profession. Part of this again comes with the whole family idea. I think that people need to be a little bit more serious when it comes to sexual harassment in the workplace. Also, I think that with the increase in lawsuits, you'll see a lot more people covering themselves against sexual harassment suits by setting up proper standards and documenting people whenever they see or hear sexual harassment. I also believe that for this trend to stop, people need to become more aware of what is sexual harassment and being willing to omit or being willing to say whenever they have been sexually harassed. Also, for this to happen, I believe that people need to see that sexual harassment is a problem and that we need to stop. I know I do my best not to harass people in the workplace, but I can't say that I'm perfect. I think that everyone will find that they say something that could be misconstrued as sexual harassment, even if it's not their initial intent. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope that you can walk away with this with a little bit better of an understanding and seeing that, yeah, we are a big kitchen family, but that doesn't mean that we need to hit on one another. Thank you.